Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Damage Report. I'm John Derola. We got a special day planned for you. Special, first of all, for the pre-port in a not great way. You're probably not gonna like this. It's gonna have to be super quick because the other way that the day is special for the full show, is that I'm gonna be joined by Jessica Burbank, and we'll now finally be interviewing Stephen Donziger. And it's gonna be awesome, but I also need to prep a little bit more for it before the show, so I gotta do this fast. So there's not gonna be any blackmail. There's not gonna be any 1,000 likes or whatever. I'm going to touch on a couple quick stories, then get to just the fun little Lauren Boebert story. And we're going to call it good, okay, everybody? So first of all, I saw this poll. I care about polls. I often talk about polls, and I'm going to cite polls even if they don't necessarily agree with me. So I saw this poll showing that more people think that Trump broke the law in the Fulton County investigation than in New York. So that's 53% believe that he acted illegally in his move to influence the counting of votes in Georgia in the 2020 election. That is, look, that's majority support. It's also kind of a meaningless poll because when you ask someone, do you think that someone broke the law? What it feels like you're asking is for a person to evaluate, here's the law, here's the action, did it violate it? But it doesn't actually mean that, because tons and tons of people can say that he didn't violate the law, not because they don't think that he did, but because they don't fucking care, or they actively wanted him to. So the actual number who know that it was a violation of the law is much higher. What's maybe more interesting is that 41% say that he acted illegally in the New York case. And honestly, in that, I feel like while I think that's a less serious transgression of the law, I also think it's fucking undisputable that he broke the law. They made the payments. They're not even pretending that they didn't make the payments. And they lied in their business reporting about what the payments were for. I don't understand what the debate is supposed to be about here. I understand that many Republicans don't care about that because they don't fundamentally care about affairs or any of that family values stuff. That's a weapon to be selectively used against their political opponents. It's not for their own elites. Their own elites are fucking god emperors. They can do whatever the fuck they want. So I don't understand what the actual debate is here in terms of the law. But regardless, a lot of people at the very least seem to understand that crimes were committed. Now we also have Tennessee, which is trying to not just like go into the libraries and take out books that they consider to be obscene, which by the way fucking includes The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Why, yes, we have lost generations to the perks of being a wallflower. Whole cohorts of perverts and weirdos being churned out thanks to that fucking book. I mean, after all, we wouldn't want kids to get their hands on pornography, and all we need to do to stop that is to get the perks of being a wallflower out of their hands. But anyway, this goes beyond just, trying to take them out of school libraries, trying to get the librarians to have to weed them out at risk of going to jail. No, this is going to be punishing the publishers for it because they want to, again, like having the librarians have to be the ones to weed it out was looking bad for them because that shows all these shelves that have been stripped of books. They don't want to ever get to that. They want the publishers to be fucking freaking out about the content of what they put out. Again, they're against cancel culture though, and they very much like free speech. Anyway, super fast update on Ron DeSantis. We've been talking about his trouble with the defections of Florida congresspeople who he would like to stop endorsing Trump, please. This is like the cherry on the top of the sundae. So, okay. So this is actually another issue for him. I apologize. We'll get to that. So what is happening is initially the Trump team was going to roll out all of the endorsements that Florida congresspeople had made of Trump. They were just going to put out a bunch of them, and it was going to be a good news cycle for them. But they decided what they're going to do instead is they're going to roll them out one at a time to coincide with big public events that Ron DeSantis is doing. So, like, he's going to D.C. to do something. And so when he goes to do that event, they're going to roll out an endorsement. He has a speech in Florida. They do a big endorsement or whatever. Jesus, man. Oh my God, and he's not even announced yet. Trump is going to feel so much more free to attack this guy once he announces. And remember, it's not just about Trump. It's about all of his fans desperately trying to get Trump's acknowledgement by attacking DeSantis or anyone really in the most vicious way possible. May Money, I don't know if the Grumpy Dragons are available. I think they are. I have the gold regular dragon. I'm going to have to check to see. I'm not sure if the Grumpy Dragons are available as tank tops. Okay, let's jump right into our main story. Oh, there's so much good stuff, though. Damn it. Okay, well, to set up, you need to know that for a solid year and a half, Lauren Boebert, like basically every Republican in the country, that prior to 2019 had never had a word to say about trans people or drag queens or anything like that, decided that their entire fucking personality is going to be hating both of those groups. She has been attacking them. You know that, obviously. But very specifically, been attacking the idea that there would be a drag queen story hour in her own district, saying that that's not acceptable, don't do that. And she's like berating the people of her district, tweeting, "Take your children to church, not drag bars." First, they're not taking their kids to the drag bars. And by the way, would you like to do a comparison of where they're most likely to be sexually abused? Do you really want to get into that? By the way, also keep them away from bowling alleys because some weirdos like to flash them there, Lauren Boebert. Anyway, let's see. She put out a tweet about this drag queen story hour saying, sending a message to all the drag queens out there, stay away from the children in Colorado's 3rd district. So it's a solid year of saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. So what do you think happened? They did it. And you know what happened? It was a marvelous success. And everyone seems to have enjoyed the experience because that's what fucking happens at a drag queen story hour. Okay, this was, what was the name of the group? It was the Roarin' Fork Divas, Glenwood Springs, Colorado, in her district. They held their storytime event. One parent said, "I think it's so amazing the work that they're doing to provide visibility and love in our area." Each of the different divas picked stories to read, spreading messages of self-love and inclusivity, because again, that's what they fucking do. Some read in English, some in Spanish. There was also an ASL interpreter to make the event inclusive for as many people as possible. One diva, Thelma Thunderthighs, says, "I think it's so good to look at the good, but it's imperative to know that our history is not the proverbial rainbows. We've had dark times, and that was a dark time. It's important for the kids to know not to dwell on that, but to know we've come a long way." Another said, "Visibility can be life-saving." This is one of the individuals who hosted the event. "Visibility teaches that there are many ways to express ourselves, and all are okay, and it is an amazing way to teach individuality, empathy, and acceptance." There was nothing about the event that was inappropriate for children. It's highly inappropriate for bigoted people to sexualize children's events for political gain, which was the reason why we had to have security as a thing in the first place. So she utterly failed. It's entirely possible that the event was bigger than it would have otherwise been because, honestly, I don't have a kid. There's no reason for me to go necessarily to a drag queen story hour where they're reading stories for younger people or whatever. But if I knew that Lauren Boebert didn't want me to go, I could probably find the time, I think, to head over there. And I think a lot of people probably could. More importantly, though, absent Lauren Boebert, nothing bad fucking happened because nothing bad fucking ever happens at any of these events. They're literally reading kids' books. That's what it's about. They're trying to make kids feel more accepting and accepted. You know who could have really used those sorts of experiences growing up? Lauren fucking Boebert. Look at the person she turned out to be. She desperately needed some drag queen story hours growing up. For now, though, she's going to continue to either actually be bothered by this, which is sad, or just pretend to be bothered by it to, give her rich donors what they need, to just take up time, stop the government from functioning, and keep them at the top of the economic heap. Either one of those is the case. They're both really sad, and I just love to see her lose on something that she, at the very least, pretended to care so much about. Also, by the way, Mike Lindell is going to have to make good in the $5 million Prove Me Wrong election fraud challenge. I don't have a lot to say about that. I just think it's funny. He probably has the money, but now he has less of it. Anyway, that's all the time we have for the pre-show. Thank you to everybody joining us for the pre-show. Jessica Burbank is going to be joining us. Lawyer Stephen Donziger is going to be joining in the aftermath, so you're not going to want to miss that. Hope to see you all there.